Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade. Welcome to another amazing, awesome, fresh out of the movie theater review, where today I just got through watching Anaconda 2025, starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black. And this is one of those things where I went into it knowing exactly what to expect. The trailers hinted at it being this meta, self-referential reboot of the original, but it's self-aware. They know they're rebooting, the original Anaconda in the movie, where the original 90s movie itself exists, but the events themselves aren't real. I'm about to get tongue-tied here. They're rebooting the original 90s Anaconda movie in this movie, and they're clearly not trying to do this self-serious, intense, straight-up creature-centric horror film like the original Anaconda. They're going for the yucks, they're going for the laughs, they're going for the camp, because it's Paul Rudd and Jack Black after all. And yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's a stupid, corny, campy reimagining of the original Anaconda. And again, they're aware of that. And I have to say, I enjoyed this, because what makes this stand out, what makes this, what made this so fun for me was them being aware of what they were doing, of how dumb this all is, of how stupid and corny this all is. And it definitely plays a lot better than if they seriously had decided to just do like an actual typical straightforward Hollywood reboot where they got Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez to reprise their roles. This plays a lot better, because after all, that original 90s movie, I would say it has its moments. It gets intense in some parts, but it's not a horror masterpiece. At least not in my opinion. Maybe some of you out there really love that movie. More power to you. But in my opinion, I wouldn't put it up there with John Carpenter's The Thing or Jurassic Park or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, the fact that they mostly just play it for the laughs and the camp actually works in this film's favor. I do feel like just like a straightforward actual reboot would have been worse. But that being said, obviously this thing has its flaws. There are leaps of in logic. There are a lot of things that don't make sense and blah 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 blah. But I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't have any fun with this. I had a blast watching this dumb shit, because it's dumb as hell. It's stupid as hell. I cannot emphasize that enough. And what I also can't emphasize enough is that it is not a good movie. Okay, let me repeat myself. It is not a good movie. I know it's not a good movie, but I really, really enjoyed watching this movie. So yeah, and does anything else need to be said? Let me just start wrapping it up, because I don't need to spend 10 minutes on the Anaconda reboot that knows it's not serious. So yeah, Paul Rudd and Jack Black work well together. They carry the movie. They got the star power. They got the charisma. They got some of the laughs. It's not, gut-bustingly funny, but I laughed a couple of times, mostly due to that, the meta nature of this whole thing and being aware of the original 90s movie. And it is kind of funny that these two characters hold the original 90s movie in this high regard, like it's some work of art, because they're horror fans just trying to, do a reboot, trying to make their mark. All that was enjoyable. I do wish that there was more Anaconda. It's the same problem I have in the original 90s movie, where we spend a little bit too much time with the humans. I could have used a bit more of the Anaconda hunting people down, but when it was on screen, it was serviceable. I know a lot of people out there are anti-CGI, practical effects, bring back practical effects. Didn't make a difference to me. Sorry. I'm not saying those of you out there are wrong, but I didn't care. I thought the snake looked serviceable. I thought it did a good job when it came on. So yeah. But with all of that said, before I wrap up, I will say it does beg, I do wonder how this would have been if they decided to be, they could have still been meta and all that, but I wonder how this would have been if they did go the straightforward horror route, because Jack Black's role in the film was very reminiscent of his role in the Peter Jackson King Kong, where, just like in this movie, he's this kind of egotistical director who risks the safety of his cast and crew to try and make his masterpiece. And if you've seen the 2005 King Kong, that's actually a surprisingly serious role for Jack Black, and he does it relatively well. I'm not going to say the guy should just be doing more dramas, but I'd like to see him in more. So all of that to say, I wonder how this would have played out if they had just made it a straightforward horror movie, because I could have seen it I will say I could have seen it playing out a little bit better, because there are some moments in here that surprisingly were effective, were, intense. After all, we're talking about a fictional giant man-eating snake, and I guess the fact that it is fictional, the fact that it's incredibly unrealistic, it's scientifically inaccurate, makes it that much more nightmarish. Like, imagine a giant snake coming after you. That is terrifying. That would terrify anybody. So I wonder if they had played it seriously with the same cast of comedic actors, would I have genuinely liked it? Would I stand before you today saying that it was actually a good movie instead of a bad movie that was just so fun that I still ended up liking it? Who knows? But in any case, it's a bad movie that I ended up enjoying so much and just having a lot of fun with. So wrapping it up, I'm going to go ahead and give Anaconda 2025 a very lenient 6 out of 10. Yeah, it deserves a 3, maybe a 4 at the most. It's bad, it's bad, but it's so stupid, it's so goofy, so corny, got a few laughs out of me that I thoroughly had a good time with it, knowing that it's bad, and very much like the original 90s one, which, again, in my opinion, is also not a great movie. I can easily see myself rewatching this one just to, kind of turn my brain off and have some laughs, you know what I'm saying? So I give Anaconda 2025 a solid 6 out of 10. This has been another edition of Wade Watches. Have you seen Anaconda 2025? How does it compare to Anaconda 1997? And are there any of you out there who absolutely love the original Anaconda 90s movie and you have strong feelings about them rebooting it? Feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you lovely cinephiles next time. Peace.